It's your boy Mo Brown.
It's your boy Van Deezy.
And we are the Upstate New York Knicks fans. Welcome to the Upstate New York Knicks podcast, where we give you the Knicks take north of Westchester. We are located and recording live from the 315, Syracuse, New York.
Big Q's.
Loving it up here. We were both born in Brooklyn, but now we loving life up here in Q's. However, you could take us out the city, but the garden is in my heart forever.
And never.
This podcast is produced by Smooth Family Entertainment. Check us out on Twitter at Smooth Family ENT. Also, be sure to follow the pod at Upstate_Knicks. Both of us at Upstate_Knicks on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that. And then obviously follow both of us. I'm at MoBreezy213. That's your boy at Frostmon Guru.
That's me.
This week was a lot. This season was a lot. But we made it.
It's finally over. Thank goodness.
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm actually upset this season is over. This was probably the best Knicks season of my life. If I'm being real with you, just as far as expectations versus reality, aside from RJ absolutely selling, everything else went right.
A salesman.
An absolute salesman.
A salesman. Big RJ. Not little RJ. Salesman. Everybody sold and everybody didn't sell.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And that's a microcosm of the season.
Yeah. Like I remember early in the podcast, we was talking about what's the move that Leon's going to make, because he did Derrick Rose the 1 year. Yep. Cam last year didn't work. And this year was Josh Hart. This nigga Leon. That was a great midseason acquisition. Was that the best midseason acquisition ever?
That's what it looks like.
I don't think there's ever been a midseason acquisition
with that level of impact.
Yeah. Not in my Knicks fandom. Mellow.
Yes.
That's really it.
Is Josh Hart Mellow S?
Legit.
News at 10.
Yes. But yeah, this was a good season. So we finished 47-35.
Yes, indeed. 12 games over 500. 12 games over 500.
Just like they predicted.
Remember when we were aggressively mid?
Yes.
Yes, I get over the strength of 1 to 2 games over 500. And now
look at us doing great things.
Thriving.
Getting ready for the playoffs. So we're gonna do the reviews. I don't know. I kind of feel like we should set the setting with the playoffs first before we do the reviews. Just catch folks up. But I don't know. What's your thoughts? This is our first end of the season episode. Yeah,
this is.
So we making it up as we go.
So I think that. So in the spirit of transparency, these were 3 meaningless games. I think we can run through these games. Legit. Honestly, I don't care about any of these games, if I'm being absolutely honest with you guys. Besides, it was good tune-up. Matter of fact, we can wrap this up right here. It was great tune-up games.
Excellent.
For one, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickly, and Obadiah Toppin. We thought Obadiah Toppin would be an NBA player with more minutes. We were correct.
He shot his trade value up ludicrously.
The brother probably should have been player of the week.
Yeah. In the league, league-wide.
Average 30 all week from the power forward position without Julius Randle there. Yes. It was a great week. We played against bums. We only lost to the Pelicans, but they were playing for something. And then they ended up selling on Sunday. So they
ain't playing, right?
So now they end up playing.
Tough.
That's very tough. So their win for us was for naught. So I don't really care.
So they got nothing for it at all.
That's all in all to say we went 2-1 this week.
No,
we went 1-2.
Yeah,
we beat the Pacers and we lost to the Pelicans. To the Pacers. Yeah. Like I said,
and I'm okay with that. If anything, I'm happy that happened. So to me, the real reviews is that we was able to sit Brunson. We was able to sit Julius. We did the smart thing. Because, Tibbs, I know Tibbs wanted Brunson to play. I know he did. I know he
had desires.
I know he was in Leon Rose's ear He was in Rick Brunson ear, like, yo, can he go? We need him full strength.
We might need him tonight. That's what he was saying.
I'm 100% sure of that.
We might need him tonight.
Absolutely nasty. But yeah, he didn't play. We had at least two scary moments to me. So me and Guru, we was on the same page in the group chat where, to me, victory was no injuries. That's all I wanted to see.
All I needed to see.
All I needed to see, no injuries. I've seen enough of this team. I know what I'm getting from Quickly. I know what I'm getting from Hart. I know what I'm getting from Obi. I know what I'm getting from pretty much everyone but RJ. And I'm okay with what I'm going to get. And the games was really just like, not even stat games. It was just like, all right, get your cardio in, get your steps, keep your wind up, but don't fall. Don't sprain nothing. Don't hurt yourself. Please. And Josh Hart had that one little scare, and they said Quentin was grabbing his back for a little bit. And those are the only two moments that I was like, oh, here we go. But other than that, we avoided serious injury. Indy got a win for their last game of the season. Good for them. I did have to say that Indiana.
It's a mid.
It's a mid.
With an all-star.
With the all-star, who's also some mid. That's neither here nor there. That's the only thing I wanted to get off about Indiana is they got George Hill playing real minutes. I was told when the trade happened, the Kings for the Pacers, I was told the Pacers is a dynasty now.
I was told that the Pacers won the trade.
I was told this.
Not only that the Kings was bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray.
Not only did they get the better players, they got picks too.
And the third seed.
Like they absolutely fleeced y'all. But Halliburton put some highlights together. So to y'all that he win the trade, he's more exciting than Sabonis. So who cares that the Kings is the third seed and Indy misses the play? The Pacers won.
Poverty.
But I digress. Poverty. So the season ended. Those 3 games, like we said, 1 and 2. So what I would like to do, even though we used the topic, we worked together with the same Google Doc script, and I kind of put it backward. I put the season stories, but I kind of want to talk the playoffs first, or maybe we should end the season and then go into the playoffs. Because let's end the season. That actually makes more sense now I'm thinking about it. We might have to cut some of this out.
It's all good.
We'll figure it through. But the season ended. So one thing that I wanted to talk about, because it won't happen, like we won't have this conversation nationally, but we should have the conversation that Jalen Brunson legit might be the MVP. We were 7 games under. And this year, we are 12 games over. 19 game turnaround.
19 game turnaround.
That's intense. Same coach.
That's intense.
Same Randall. Same, we didn't add Mike Brown. We just added Jalen Brunson, and then we added Josh Hart. Josh Hart was a lot of that. I'm going to give Josh Hart his credit. He was hooping. But
Balboa.
19-game turnaround is drastic. And aggressive. I think Brunson gets a lot of that credit down the stretch of games. He was our closer, and, he was feeding the hot hand. I really think that, his season, we're not going to do it justice because, it's going to get swept under the rug. And honestly, his entire season is probably going to get defined by how he do in this playoff series, which I get. You're making $100 million. Yep. The pressure is higher. But this was one of the best seasons in Knick history, in my opinion. And, I hope we don't forget that as we're telling the story of this year.
I agree. I think that, out of pure bias, Jalen Brunson is him. He is him. Him is he. Him he is.
Good at sport.
He's good at the sport of basketball. He is good at playing the point guard position in the sport of basketball professionally in the best league in the world.
In the best league in the world.
In the media capital. I think that he definitely deserves, if we look at it at its core, if we look at it at its core, most valuable player, I can justify Jalen Brunson's value to Joel Embiid's value legit. To the Sixers.
To Jokic. Yeah.
To Jokic. I can literally justify that. Yeah. Julius has been a better Julius because Jalen Brunson is him. Yep. Like that is fact. Emmanuel Quickley is a better Emmanuel Quickley because Jalen Brunson is him.
Quentin.
Like these, Quentin, right? Like these, like it directly. He has directly impacted the team.
Yes.
Like that is like in each player has gotten better because he is him. Like very simply, like that is bottom line.
And like the impact, honestly, the impact is kind of like it's inevitable. It's inevitable. And like honestly, we haven't even talked about his numbers, which are phenomenal. 24 points, 6 assists, 3 boards, 4 boards, 3.5 boards. Like these are great numbers for a Knicks point guard. We haven't had Marbury. Marbury last time we had a point guard putting these numbers up. He played more than the 65 games. He played 68 games. That's important now. He hit the 65 game minimum, and like he impacted this team in a way that, you know, we just didn't see coming, and it shows way more than like the numbers. His impact was just phenomenal. Everybody was better, and you know, we're going to talk about Julius's bounce back season. Quickly, probably going to get 6th man of the year. That's going to be a story.
Oh, man, we got to talk. That has been the topic of the week.
That has been
the topic of the week. The hottest topic of the NBA world is Celtics Twitter, Bucks Twitter, and
disgusting. Celtics Twitter have lost their mind.
Nah, Celtics Twitter is disgusting. Y'all are gross. I'm not even trying to hit it.
Nastiest thing ever. Honestly, we should get Zach and Dustin up here, have them defend this because this is really gross.
And Malcolm Brogdon is Zach's guy.
This is true too.
That's really his guy. That's aggressively gross.
Yes. So honestly, we can go right into that. So obviously, I have a real bias, so I'm gonna start by saying
you have a true bias.
I've been a Quickley fan since that first preseason game. I think he went on versus Detroit or Cleveland or it was somebody. But once I saw, I was like, oh, we got a point guard. This kid is the one.
He might be him. Give him the keys.
Give him the keys. I saw a young Steph Curry just pulling from wherever, and I was like, oh, this is beautiful. We need this. So I have a real bias. However,
so not even to cut you off, but just to preface the fact that the Indiana game was what I call the Mo Brown special.
This was the Mo Brown special. Yes.
Let the people know what you've been telling them all season. Let them know.
Yes.
Let them know.
So I actually been rewatching some of our old podcasts because I want to see how many of the takes that I got right. I got a couple. I saw Josh Hart come in or something like that. But one of the takes that I did get right that I've been saying since the first episode. You can literally go back to the first episode because I saw it. But my toxic take is I'm dead serious when I say I'm dead serious. I think people think I'm joking, but I'm dead serious.
They have to think
I am dead serious. No picks, no cash considerations, nothing. I think if the Golden State Warriors proposed a trade and they said, Knicks, you guys will get Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, and Golden State gets Emmanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes, and Obi Toppin, I think they get 4 more rings. I think they get the same level of production out of those 3 than the prior 3 because I think they're that good. And that game versus Indy, when they all got 30 points, Quentin had 5 steals. Clamps Thompson. It was a beautiful thing to see. And we had 3 games. So that was 1 out of 3. I think that 33% of games, if they had the keys, we'd get that level of a performance. And then next year it'd be 1 out of 2 games. And then once they got the gelling together, they would have a dynasty. They would win 4 of the next 9 titles.
They said that was the first 3 Knicks in 50 years.
In 50 years.
To score 30 points.
That was kind of nuts. When I saw that, I was like, damn, that's a stat.
That is a stat. Yes. That shows you that we were primarily a defensive team for a long time.
Legit. Clamping up. But yes, this was a good week for me. And I do have a bias because obviously I think Quickley is in league with Steph Curry. That's really how I feel. However, the reason that I'm even more confident that everybody knows Quickley is the MVP is that Boston fans' number one reason as to why Quickly shouldn't get Sixth Man of the Year.
Yes, give it to us.
He's starting games. It's not Sixth Man, it's Bench Player of the Year for them. For the rest of the world, when you start, that's actually beneficial. But Celtics fans are like, nope, he can't get it. All of his best games have been as a starter, literally as the sixth man. All of his best games have been doing exactly what the sixth man should do. Fill in when the five is one missing. But the fact that they don't go to no stats, no shooting percentages, no numbers, they just like, it is what it is. And it's gross.
I'm not going to lie. Them Celtics fans saw Lou Will win 3 6 Man of the Year awards coming off the bench, and they thought that was the criteria.
That was the formula.
Little did they know, my man Ja Crawford, who used to frequent coming into the starting lineup and putting up 40.
Buckets.
Frequent.
It made no sense.
It made no sense whatsoever why Celtics Twitter decided to throw a rampage party on Emmanuel Quickly simply because of the fact that Malcolm Brogdon has played 67 games. Malcolm Brogdon has played 67 games. Emmanuel Quickly has played 81 games.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Quickly has played 24 games. I think he played, 20 games as a starter?
21 they say now.
21 as a starter.
Yeah.
That means he has played 60 games as a reserve. You have played 7 more games.
Also true.
In total.
Disgusting work.
What are you telling me?
Disgusting work.
What are you telling me? And y'all trying to tell me Schmurda has 15 and 10. Bobby Portis has 15 and 10.
Big Schmurda.
That's big Schmurda.
Not Reggie.
Not Reggie Jackson. That's a little Schmurda.
Little Schmurda. Yes.
But I'm not hearing that either.
Yeah.
Bobby Portis is not impacting the game when you have a Giannis on the court.
Legit. He's a 3-and-D big. Like, he's just a stretch 4. Like, that's all he is. He's not anything special.
And guess why we know this? Because we had him. He
as
was on our team
4.
As a stretch 4. As the full power forward lineup we used to roll out before Toronto.
We originated that. They made it a hot song. But yes, it's frustrating. I was happy to see Dame Lillard. So Damian Lillard came on Twitter, he chimed in. He said that it should be Quickly. It should be Quickly. Everybody who knows basketball thinks it should be Quickly.
Your man Dame took a break from the grind.
Yeah.
Took a break from Grace in the grind. You know,
break from the grind.
Gotta give him his props. Took a break from the grind.
Nasty work. But yeah, no, I think that Quickly should get it. And if Quickly doesn't get Sixth Man of the Year, something went wrong. Tibbs had a really great season. Mike Brown is getting Coach of the Year.
That's a fact.
I think Brunson should get Most Improved. I do. I have a bias, but
they're gonna give it to Shea.
Shea? Oh, I was thinking Laurie. It's a better story.
They might give it to Laurie too. But Shea went from 22 points.
Oh no, Shea. Boy, averaging like
31 points.
Thunder to the playoffs. He got to the play-in. He's better than Luka. He passed Luka this year to me. I think so.
You ain't got to tell. Well, Luka went to the conference finals, so you got to give him that.
Luka missed the offs. Brunson went to the conference finals. Get it right. If Brunson make the conference finals this year, Luka got nothing. All of Luka's accomplishments.
We talking about Knick South today too.
Oh, we have to.
We got to discuss the disgrace that is one Knick South.
Honestly, we should go right into it. And honestly, I hope the NBA get their ass.
I need them stripped of all first round picks from now to 2027 for that egregious showing that they pulled. Well, we can transition to it.
Yeah.
We can transition into it. So
you go. You up?
Yeah. So for the people who don't know.
Disgusting. It was really nasty.
For the people who don't know, the New York Knickerbockers won the Kristaps Porzingis trade.
Yes.
First and foremost. So as a result of winning the Kristaps Porzingis trade, we continue to reap the benefits of poor decisions from one Dallas Mavericks, a.k.a. Knick South. Knick South owes us one more pick out of the Kristaps Porzingis trade to complete the trifecta of L's that they've taken from the Kristaps Porzingis trade. That includes this year's top 10 protected pick. Mm-hmm. So now they say when you do it, when you're in a group full of nasty people, as long as you don't announce the nastiness,
you good.
Everybody else is just chilling. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But once the nastiness is announced,
that's
it's when now like
it's public.
What are you doing?
The whole world can see it.
So Knick South,
disgustingly,
still in the heat of a playing race, which is poverty in itself because you got two Hall of Famers on your team.
Yes, two Hall of Famers, and I'll let you go because I have a real opinion here because this is absurd to me.
Yeah, but two Hall of
set the stage.
Famous on your team fighting for the 10th spot in the play-in tournament against an Oklahoma City team that has Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is him.
Very good at sport.
Very good at the sport of basketball.
However, there are no other Hall of Famers on that roster.
Not one. Not even one. Not even
an old Derrick Rose type. Like
chilling as a veteran.
Yeah, none of that.
None of that.
Young Bucks.
The Dallas Mavericks essentially decided to punt the season by resting everybody of significance that would get them a victory on Friday night, except for Luka, who played the first quarter and then sat for the rest of the game.
And he was hooping in the first quarter, right?
Yes,
like
he
8
was.
points.
Yes, like 17 points in the first and then sat down. This is particularly nasty, not only because they decided to tank the season, but because they held a press conference prior to the game explaining to it the streets that they were essentially tanking the season to keep their top 10 protected pick. Now, if you don't know, as of Friday, they were 11th. When they eliminated themselves out of the play-in, they became tied for 10th because they were playing Chicago. Now, if they lost to San Antonio on Sunday, we still would have had a chance to get the pick.
Yes. And they had to finish the job.
They doubled down on the sale.
They had to finish the job. They said, I thought we was done.
I want you to know on Sunday, I blinked and I looked at my phone. It was 42-14 at the end of one against the G League Spurs.
One, Theodore Pinson led them in minutes played. I've seen enough.
Theodore Pinson, triple-double. Look at this. Look at
he had a triple-double. No, that's absurd.
I love Theo. That's my guy.
No.
Theo Pinson triple-double in 2023 is absolutely nuts.
Out of college.
This is not your North Carolina Tar Heels Theo.
No.
Superstar. This is not national champion Theo Pinson.
This is really absurd. So I got a lot of feelings about this.
Give it to
a lot of feelings. So the triple-double from Theo Pinson, I just looked at 40 minutes, only to be outdone by Frankie Smokes, 42 minutes. I appreciate them giving it they all, trying to get us this. Hell, y'all trying to hold my boys? Nah, got you.
Nah, we gonna get y'all.
We gonna work. It didn't work out, but they tried. I appreciate it. So here's why it blows mine. So doubling down, that's obviously nasty, but it's just doubling down. The initial thing is where I'm blown. So we know the play-in is a thing. Like it's stupid. I don't like the play-in. I think that too many teams make the playoff in the NBA, and it kind of like ruins the lore of the playoffs. Like 2/3 of the league makes the playoffs in the NBA. I think like 1/4 of the NFL makes the playoffs, and even less in the MLB. MLB is like 4 teams.
Oh, nah. not even to cut you off, but that is a marketing ploy by the rest of the league.
They
get more and more teams into the playoffs because they want because the TV money is nasty.
Oh yeah, no, I get it from a capitalism point of view. I get the economics, the sport of it, the like athlete competitiveness. You know,
that's the word. Yes.
So what could happen? And honestly, if I'm the Mavericks, I really should feel like this should happen. It shouldn't. I don't think that this should be possible. However, it was possible as of that day. As of that day, you got Luka and Kyrie. I believe they healthy. They said they was injured, so whatever. I think they was healthy. If they had won both of those games, they very easily could have had the 10th, I think even the 9th seed. Like it was tight like that, but maybe not the 9th. But the 10th is good enough. Reasonably, they would have gotten the 10th seed. They would have had to play the Pelicans or Minnesota or Oklahoma. They'd have to play some team that they should feel like they could beat. And then they was going to have to play either the Lakers or the Pelicans, another team that they should feel like they can beat because they have 2 Hall of Famers. And the reason you make a trade like that is pushing your chips to the front. You're trying to go get it now. You're the 8th seed. You have Denver in the first round. You have to feel like you got a shot. There's no way you looking at Denver like, why are we even fight? If this was the East, I get it. If it's the East, I'm not fighting for a chance to play Giannis.
Definitely not.
I'm not. It's over.
I'm avoiding Giannis.
Over. We done. We didn't make it.
I'm avoiding Giannis at all points. Yeah. I'm definitely not trying to get first round Giannis. Round Giannis.
Fresh, healthy, a week's rest, a full running jumper, a week's fresh legs.
Giannis been on the bench since April 1st. Chilling. Eating snacks.
Fresh legs, Giannis. I don't want to play that. However, Denver is not Milwaukee. Denver did not win a title. I don't believe in Denver. They're a good team. Jokic is good. Murray's having a little comeback. I do not believe in Denver. I don't believe in Denver.
I think everybody in the bottom 4 knows that Denver is gettable.
Some trees. Honestly, this is my theory too, and we're gonna get there. I think I got every single underdog in the West. Regardless of how it goes in the first round. I got them all. Unless OKC or Minnesota beat New Orleans or LA, I got them all. But as a competitor, the fact that Luka Doncic and Kyrie didn't think a 2-game winning streak was possible, and then beating Denver 4 out of 7 games, like they had a legit path to the second round. In my opinion, I really think that if they were good as they think they are, they should have felt that way. And the fact that they didn't even think that, you know, they had a chance, they we got a tank for the pick. Tank for the pick, you can win the title. You can get out the West.
Hall of Famers.
You have 2 Hall of Famers. There's no team in the West except Golden State.
That's super tough.
Yeah, except Golden State. But Golden State wasn't waiting on the other. If you got the 8th seed, you wasn't playing Golden State in the first round. You might get them in the second round. Not even the second round. Say the 6th. Like,
that's super tough. That's super tough for the Kings, by the way.
Super tough.
I hate that.
Getting them out of there.
I hate that. I hate that for them. So OD. I'm not gonna lie. I hate that for them. Great story. Oh man, they're gonna pack y'all up early.
Pack them up early. So we can get back to the Knicks, but I do want to be on record. I want to be on record as saying
Knicks South.
Knicks South is terrible.
Yeah, some fucking mid.
So I got the Lakers and the Pelicans as the 2 teams that get in. Like, I don't know who's going to win that first game, but I think Minnesota or OKC, they're not going to win. I'm going with Pelicans and Lakers. So whether they 7th or 8th, it don't matter. I got both of them winning. They're going against Memphis and they going against Denver. I got both of them winning. I don't care what the lineups is. I don't care if Zion plays, I got them super winning. But if
Zion plays, I got them sweeping Denver. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Sweeping.
Y'all better hope that large man do not play against Jokic. He is going to put that man on a cereal box. I promise you.
Absolutely ruin his legacy. 100%. Gets that man packed up again. Second sweep in the playoffs. But I got both of them. Obviously, I got Golden State over Sacramento, and just out of pure hate, I got Russell beating KD because I can't root for KD.
I need it. I need the redemption. I need the redemption
story. I need Kawhi to show KD you are not the greatest player on the planet. I am. I need the him off. So, yeah, I just wanted to be on record as saying that. I don't know if it'll happen, but I think that'll happen. But back to the Mavs, which get us back to the Knicks. They really tanked our pick. Like, yes. They really said, if we win, the Knicks get the pick. If we lose, they don't get the pick.
So we are definitely
losing.
Not winning.
Done.
Not winning.
Blatant
so that the Knicks
tanking. They started somebody named Jay Hardy. Not the Swanton Bomb. Jaden Hardy started. This is really out of control. This is nuts. That they really did this on live TV. Everybody watching. You saw Mark Cuban was giggling when they missed the shot at the time.
The funniest thing ever about it is that they still almost won the game. And then the nastiest part about the tank job is that you could tell that somebody pressed the button in the fourth quarter and they just started selling. Yeah. It was so gross. I was literally only watching because I checked the NBA app and I was like, Dallas is up 9. Are they about to reverse sell? I legit was like, are they about to reverse sell? Are they about to sit here and purposely tank and then the team be like, nah, this basketball, I'm a hooper? But nah, the button was pressed. It was nasty work. It was nasty work. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, they really sold. And Luka said that he didn't like it, but Luka, you was complicit. I'm sorry.
You was complicit.
I'm sorry.
Don't take me out, coach.
Because honestly and truly, I'm not gonna lie to you. If Luka would have went into that office, it'd be like, "Yo, dead ass."
We not taking.
I don't give a shit about that 10th overall pick. Respectfully, I don't give a shit about that. I want to go to the playoffs. I did. Jason Kidd wouldn't have said nothing. Mark Cuban wouldn't have said nothing because he'd have been like, if he'd have went there, like, I want to go to the playoffs, or y'all better trade me to something.
Yeah,
I bet you they would have held it. I bet you everybody would have played their greatest basketball ever.
This would have been hard work going down, but no, Luka was complicit.
Yep, he was complicit, Luka. I'm sorry,
missing the playoffs.
You wanted to be a part of the mid
in the play-in era. You're too
young to be missing the playoffs, especially in the play-in era.
You're supposed to be all-time great.
Last year. That's why it was nasty for us last year.
Yeah.
20 of 30 teams make the playoffs. 20 of 30.
Most of the teams make the playoffs. You have to be
20
bad.
Of 30.
What's some records? Let me see some playoff records.
20 of 30.
You do not need a great record to make the playoffs in this league. You can really get it in the playoffs.
There are at least 4 teams under 500 in the playoffs. 4 teams. The playoffs. All you got to do is win half the games you lose.
Nasty work. And
that's guaranteed play-in. Guaranteed play-in spot.
Nasty work. But I digress.
Tell me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, now
you about to say, tell me what does 41 and 41 get you in the Eastern Conference?
Swept by Milwaukee. That's what you get in the East. You get the 8th seed, so like you get swept by Milwaukee. That's more important than that. Honestly, I'm hoping Atlanta beats Miami so Miami can get swept by Milwaukee because I want nothing but pain for them.
Poverty. It's only because y'all talk smack one game. It only took one game. We already have a testy history. We was minding our business. You decided to be tough.
And now I want your unsuccess.
Yeah, and now I want your unsuccess.
You can't have no happiness. But no, so Knicks South did terrible. Absolute choke job. Going into the playoffs, bum juiced it. I did want to talk about some other season storylines before we get into playoffs. Knicks, so Julius bounced back. We can speak more about that, but I think as we talk playoffs, that'll come up. And we talked about IQ, and I wanted to talk about, and we'll get more into it in the Rowan report, but a big storyline to me was that RJ and Obi did not take steps. Obi, I don't think it was his fault. RJ, I absolutely think it was his fault. RJ made the conscious choice to shoot 31% from 3 this year on a lot of threes too. Like the number.
That is why he's not the shooting guard. He's the small forward.
He is not the shooting guard.
Like Harrison Barnes, and Harrison Barnes shot 40% from 3 this year.
Yes.
You can like do that 2015 Harrison Barnes.
Super nasty. But we're going to talk more about that as we get into... Was there any storylines that stood out to you this year?
Storyline that stood out to me this year: Tom Thibodeau deciding to not get fired.
Yeah,
maybe the biggest storyline of the entire year. He benched
Derek.
He made requisite choices
plural
that could have plural choices that could have got him fired.
Yes.
Plural choices that I thought were a maniac. The Hartenstein-Sims lineup. The Hartenstein-Mitch lineup. The Sims-Mitch lineup. All of those lineups were terrible. Never released them again. I never want to see them ever again.
I want to see that.
He made a decision to play his 6th and 7th best defenders to start the season and thought that he was going to win basketball games. But he also made decisions that he had to. And I give him credit. Because he could have just been stubborn Tibbs of Minnesota and of Chicago.
We know this man.
We've seen this man. But I'll give credit where credit is due. He made requisite choices. He's still a maniac. He shouldn't have played anybody who's playing in the playoffs any of the last minutes as soon as we clinched the 5 seed. I'd have sent them all home.
Everybody.
Y'all stay home. Everybody go home right now and stay there. I don't want y'all leaving. Don't even go to dinner. I'm gonna see y'all. Get y'all food delivered. Get Fresh Direct. Get Hello Fresh. I need all of that. I don't need none of that. No problems because we're going into Cleveland to give chips. So I give. That's my main storyline. I, as you guys know, I'm a big Tibbs hater. Hater. Still, but I give credit where credit is due. Second storyline I think was huge. Obviously, that Jalen Brunson is a point guard that is good at the sport of basketball.
Very.
I think that, like we said earlier, like the impact was insurmountable. Like that shit. Like this is. I feel like we said last week. I feel way more confident this time around going into the playoffs. Last 2 years ago, I wasn't as confident because we had one person that could score 30 points a game, and everybody else that was not capable as of yet. And now we have multiple people that I feel confident. Like I know I have a confidence we're gonna have a Julius game in the playoffs. We're gonna have a Jalen game in the playoffs, an IQ game in the playoffs. If we get the RJ game, we're sweeping them. I'm letting you know that. I don't know if we get the RJ game.
Just one.
If we get the RJ,
all you need is one.
And I needed to come in like game two. So I needed to get out the way early. Like if it's out the way early, I'm good.
We thriving. I wanted to touch on. Honestly, you brought up two things, and I'll be quick. Tibbs, I'm gonna give him a lot of credit. I can give him enough credit. He should be coach of the year. If Mike Brown didn't do the impossible, like I think he would be coach of the year because. And to me, the moment was when he benched Derrick Rose and Evan Fournier for not playing defense and put in Miles McBride, defensive specialist. That was when he earned my respect. Because before then, I was like, "What are you doing? You are
what
an
are
idiot.
You doing?
You have." Good defenders on the bench. You are putting bad defenders on the court.
You are Tibbs.
You are a defensive guy. This is your thing.
That was literally like D'Antoni putting out like
Jared Jeffries.
Like Jared Jeffries at the one. No shooters on the court in the D'Antoni offense. I've never even heard of it.
Legit.
He needs at least 4 shooters. I feel like if you're Tibbs, you need at least 4 defenders on the court that you absolutely trust.
Yes.
And I feel like those are always going to be your best lineups.
Yes. And I'm proud of him for doing that because I didn't think he could do it. I'm really stubborn. I'm not really stubborn. I know that Tibbs is really stubborn. And I watched him start Alec Burks at point guard because he didn't want to give us the satisfaction of seeing what Quickly or McBride could do in the situation. That was his thought process. He didn't want to let the cat out the bag. Then Quickly would have been gone.
That's the narrative.
That's the narrative. That makes the most sense. And then the other thing you said, oh man, I lost it. Not RJ, Brunson. Going into the playoffs, the roster's improved. Lee, I don't know if you said it, but So our starting backcourt in 21 going into that playoffs was Elfrid Payton and Reggie Bullock, which was disgusting. Let's be clear.
Elfrid Payton, non-shooter.
Speaking Chinese right now. 2 years.
Non-defender.
Non-shooter. Non-defender. Mid-overall basketball player. Ejected. Not playing in the NBA right now. Literally. 2 years removed. He's not old. He's younger than me. I don't know how old he is, but I'm 30 and I know for a fact he's at least a year younger than me. So he's at old as 29, but he's not good at the sport, so he's ejected. And then Reggie Bullock is out being mid in Dallas. We went from those two to Quentin Grimes, elite, and Jalen Brunson, all-NBA talent.
5 steals, Quentin Grimes.
Drastic improvement. Drastic improvement. That improvement is so big that we're overlooking that we didn't have Mitch. I love Nerlens. Nerlens was not Mitch. Nerlens couldn't catch. He couldn't catch anything.
He was not Mitch. Mitchell Robinson, give him his flowers. 13 offensive rebounds in the season finale. Most of NBA history.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying, give my man one touch. Yeah. They don't got Mitch. We didn't have Mitch, bro. We did not have Mitch.
Big thing on the defensive end. I think the defensive drop, but offensively, Mitch is only a lob threat, but at least he's a lob threat. Nerlens wasn't even a lob threat. Like, do you know how hard it is having a big that can't catch alleys or shoot?
I will say this. About Mitch. And engaged Mitch is very dangerous because Mitch, when engaged, he's playing defense. And I think he needs to lock in on is the offensive rebounds. I'm telling you, he'll get all his buckets like that. Yeah. If you tell me, I feel like if someone can frame to Mitch, like Mitch, if you get 5 boards, that's 10 points right there on the offensive boards. Just get the 5 boards because we got defenders on the back. Like they're not about to just fast break us. That's not happening. They're gonna have to pull, and we play drop coverage. So you don't even gotta worry. About
You're good. You just gotta sit in the paint. They'll rotate. They'll figure it out. Honestly, what I want Mitch to work on this offseason is his free throws. I think if Mitch, because now he's like a 53% free throw shooter. If he could get to like 65, 70, it's hard to do, but it's doable. And that's really all they can do on the offensive boards. Like, he gets fouled going up for offensive boards a lot. And, like, if he just made, like, 2 more free throws a game, that would put his points up drastically and, help him get into the rhythm of the basketball game. But overall, I feel much better. I didn't even talk about the bench that I think is drastically improved, too. We got better versions of Quickly and Obi. But
that was year 1 Obi.
Yeah.
And he had a good series. Yeah. That's the crazy thing about it. He had a good series.
He did his part. Especially coming off the bench. But yeah, we have better versions of all of that. But going into the playoffs, so honestly, that's kind of a good segue. So it's a couple storylines to watch. I highlighted a couple. One of those storylines will be, Obi or Quickly. Will they have the potential? We see it. They have the ability to get really hot and somewhat take over games, especially versus bench units. And they're going to have chances to do that. When Donovan Mitchell and Garland come off the court, there's a real drop. I like Colin Sexton, but he's not Donovan Mitchell. Rules is rules. I don't make the rules. And, there's a real opportunity for the Hart, Quickly Obi lineup to change the series. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the other storyline that obviously I'm big promoting, and it's a big part of the reason that I have us winning in 5. I have us winning in 5, let's be clear, y'all. But a big part of it is that Jalen Brunson is Donovan Mitchell's father. I know Donovan Mitchell was fed up when he saw he had to play Jalen Brunson in the first round again. I know he was pissed off because Jalen Brunson has that man's number. Jalen Brunson.
And he calls him nightly. He tucks him in.
Because I really think that take the over for Jalen Brunson every single game this series. Every single game. If the over is set at 31.5, take the over.
Take the over.
Take the over every single game, because I think Jalen Brunson is about to go off. And honestly, I think we're going to be looking at him like an all-time great Knick after this series, but it's purely because he's just going to give Donovan Mitchell the absolute chips. And I'm looking forward to them going back and forth. But I think that matchup swings heavily in our favor, and I'm looking forward to seeing it play out. Two good offensive talents. I think we have the better one, and we'll see. But I don't know. What's some storylines you looking forward to, the young
I'm looking forward to, as you said, so my storylines are a little different.
Okay.
As I've stated on multiple occasions, I do not think Donovan Mitchell is the best player on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I do not think Darius Garland is the best player on the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Also true.
The best player on the Cleveland Cavaliers is Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is the goods. I'm telling you this. When I see Evan Mobley, I see Anthony Davis year 2. And if you watch Anthony Davis the way I used to really fuck with Anthony Davis, year 1, Anthony Davis was just some defensive guy that was just blocking everything. Year 2, Anthony Davis came in giving chips it just happened randomly. I'm not going to lie to you. My only fear in this entire series, and the only way I see us losing this series at all, is if Evan Mobley is him and he cooks us and he cooks Julius Randle. That's the only way I see it losing. Yeah. With that being said,
it ain't happening.
It's not happening. It's not happening simply because Donovan Mitchell is going to score 40 points because he believes he is the best player on the basketball team. And that will work to our favor because he will get into a hem-off with Jalen Brunson. That will be fun. But then also, Julius Randle will have 20 points. And then also, Quentin Grimes will be grilling everything in sight because now the brother can't miss. Also, because Josh Hart is not playing with y'all. Darius Garland, if Darius Garland is not the scorer on the team, he's in jail. It's over for him. I'm letting you know that right now. Donovan Mitchell is going to have to be the scorer. And honestly and truly, if we follow the Utah Jazz blueprint of why they lose playoff series, we will let him score as much as he wants. Because Donovan Mitchell is like averaging 29 points in the playoffs. Like that's what he scores a lot of buckets. Like that's what he does.
Yeah.
And he's a scorer. That's what he does well. But I see us being able to exploit that because if he don't recognize that there is a 7-foot person playing the power forward position being guarded by a 6'9" power forward who also has to expend energy on the offensive end, and he makes decisions that he's just going to pull, I like our chances, and I think that's very likely.
Yes.
Very, very likely because he's done it before. And that's not to say Rudy fights a lot. Gobert is
the young thug. Everybody gangster.
French thug is out here smoking everybody because he's not getting the rock. And that's not saying that he's I believe he's as good as Evan Mobley because I don't. But Donovan Mitchell also did not pass in the ball.
Yeah.
And we saw Rudy Gobert get taken out of a series. Maybe rightfully so, but I mean, he's your second highest paid player. And if he's not involved in the game, I'm not worried about any of that.
None of that matters at all. Honestly, I'm right with you, especially with Evan Mobley. I think that he's their X factor, but I don't think he's their X factor in that they need him to play good in order to win at all. I think our X factor is RJ, and if RJ plays good, we sweep them. They can't overcome a good RJ series. They just can't. They don't have enough firepower.
I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't think anybody in the NBA can overcome a good RJ series. Legit. To be honest.
Yeah.
That's just going to be, and that's just the reality of the situation. Because a good RJ series means everybody else played well. Yeah. And he had to do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But thrive. Score. But thrive.
Thrive
in the offense.
Yes. Tom, if we get a good RJ series, that means Brunson, because I think Brunson, that's a lot. Take over every night. Yes. So we're getting 32 points there at least. I think Quickly and Hart and Obi off the bench. I think it's not even fair.
That's my second, and that's my second headline is that their bench is some mid.
Honestly, I'm impressed they got this far with their bench. I was looking into
that means
their
starting
stats.
Five is elite.
It's hooping. Yeah.
That means your starting five is elite.
Facts. That is the facts. Because you go.
I'm not trusting nobody. Not trusting Chetty Osman,
Ricky Rubio,
rookie. I'm not trusting Ricky off the ACL. Karis LeVert,
Dean Wade.
I'm not having a Dean Wade series. Like, I'm not worried about Dean Wade off the bench this series. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's just not how it's going down for me.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that puts them at a disadvantage. Obviously, our bench is a strength, their bench is a weakness, but it's a real disadvantage in that, like I've been saying, we have several bodies we can throw at Donovan Mitchell. And that don't even include RJ Barrett. If RJ plays good defense, that's 4, 5 even with Deuce. And we can really wear him down, especially over the course of a 7-game series where he's going to have to log 36, 40 plus minutes a night because they don't really have much scoring outside of him unless they want to give Evan the keys. And I haven't seen that from them. They don't call him to do that. They should, but they don't. Maybe this will be the time when they unleash it. But I think that their strength is their defense. And honestly, I would feel a little more concerned if Julius was playing, in that they would just trap Julius. We know that. They're going to trap, just like I think they're going to trap Brunson. But the lineup we have around him, the ball moves way too effortlessly. And they're going to realize that trapping is just going to end up with us getting layups because Brunson is just open threes. And Brunson is just a better passer than Julius. That's no fault of his own. Brunson is just the absolute goods. But the bench play is significantly better. And I just don't see where their bench scoring comes from. And I don't see who is stopping Quickly or Hart or Obi off the bench. So this is going to be a fun series as a Knicks fan. I'm looking forward to it. I'm being perfectly honest. I really am.
So you saying that you have the utmost confidence in this series as being a win?
So I bought tickets for game 1. I'm going to game 1 in Cleveland. I'm getting a hotel. I'm going to spend the night because I'm going to be celebrating a game 1 win. I'm looking forward to. And also, if y'all been watching all year, y'all should know that I took advantage of the
price.
The 80. I got playoff tickets for $82. Playoff tickets. The playoff Cleveland Cavaliers. Absolute disgusting. $82. I'm looking at tickets for the Garden once the schedule comes out. Those tickets start at $2 and change. But Cleveland, I can get pretty good seats for $82, but I digress.
Tough. I love it. I love it. But yeah, what other storylines you think is going to dominate this series?
So I think one of the bigger storylines for me, or at least the storyline I'm watching, is going to be Mitch versus Jarrett Allen. So I think Mitch has a lot to prove. So Mitch didn't play in the playoffs last time, and I think that really bothered him. I think he wanted to play. Like, I remember he was tweeting and like they held him back, but I really think he wanted a chance to prove himself in that big stage. And I'm looking forward to him doing it. His gameplay revolves a lot on his effort. And it's just a matter of, will he go hard on the defensive end? And they need Jarrett Allen. They need Jarrett Allen to work the offensive board. They need Jarrett Allen to, outplay Mitchell Robinson. And so let's be clear, this is going to happen. But if Mitchell Robinson neutralizes Jarrett Allen, like if they get the same out of Jarrett Allen that we get out of Mitch, it gets ugly. And I think they're going to get the same out of Jarrett Allen that we get out of Mitch, because Mitch is going to box him out, get on the boards, boom it on him, get fouled, get him in foul trouble. And I think that's going to be really hard for them to stop Jalen Brunson without paint defender too. It's just tough. Evan Mobley can't paint because Obi is a Curry, and it could really get fun. But Mitch has to do his job, and I think he will. But, Jared Allen is an all-star. Mitch has to go into this with a chip on his back because Mitch does think that he can guard the elite. He always wants to guard Giannis. He always wants to guard JoJo when we play those teams. So I'm assuming he's going to take this as a challenge, and I think he's going to win. I do. I really believe that. But that's another one of those, if it goes, they need that to go in their favor.
Yes.
In order to compete. And we don't necessarily need it. Like, I think we can overcome that, but I don't think we'll need to because I think Mitch is going to show up, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I really am.
Big Mitch Robinson, and engaged Mitch is a happy Mitch.
Is a happy Mitch. You need to see it. Yes.
So I will say my next headline is coinciding with the fact that it is time. It is time. It's time for the Rowan Report.
Is this the final? This is the end. We did it. This is season 1 in the books.
19 straight weeks of RJ Barrett.
Ups and downs, highs and lows. Full on. But let's get into it.
Here.
So,
the Rowan Report.
For those of you who don't know, my name is Maurice Brown. Friends call me Mo. And I am RJ Barrett's #1 fan. I am his #1 fan by virtue of latitude. I'm closest to Canada up here in Syracuse. Therefore, I am #1. I've been RJ's fan since I watched the U17 game. And he cooked Team America's U17 team single-handedly. And it was at that moment that I was like, this kid is the goods. This kid has it. He can go in, he can go out. He can finish with the right hand, the left hand. He can pull up and shoot. He was diamond. It was amazing. He had the complete package. And I was like, man, I don't know what team he's going to go to, but at some point, this kid is going to be in the NBA and he is going to be elite. I watched him choose Duke. Him and Zion did it together. And I was like, oh, Duke is going to win it all. They had, in my opinion, a super team in Zion the Phenom and RJ Barrett, who I thought was the most skilled player in the country at that time. And honestly, probably was and is. But that's neither here nor there. Point is, I've been watching RJ Barrett play basketball for the better part of his career since high school. And I am a really credible messenger when reporting on RJ Barrett. So these last 3 games, to me, they was a wipe. RJ didn't play one. He played the other. I'm not going to talk about the last games because I don't care. I really don't. Those games were not that they were meaningless, but they didn't have meaning. We clinched. We were just out there playing basketball. So I'm going to talk about the season as a whole. If I'm being honest, which I have to be, this was a disappointing season for RJ Barrett. If I'm being honest, I have to be. This was not what we expected. Before the season, folks were saying, we need to trade Julius and clear out room so that RJ Barrett can grow and be a star on this team. And that's not what happened at all. So I'll go through his stats. 19. So it was some mid. Some real mid. It was annoyingly mid. Let me be clear. So he finished the season averaging 19.6 points, 5.0 boards, and 2.8 assists, shooting 43% from the field, which is bad. It's real bad. He shot 31% from 3, also bad. And he shot 74% from the free throw line, which is an improvement on his career 70%. However, coming into the season, he spoke about how, free throw shooting was an area he wanted to improve, and this was not the improvement I wanted to see. Several things about this season didn't go right. Some of them were his fault. Some of them was coaching. I don't like that we use him as a 3-and-D wing, especially since he wasn't playing D for a large portion of the season. So using him in that role did not make sense to me. I actually think he stands the most to benefit from Julius not playing. Him and Julius play the same exact game. And with Obi in a shooter spot, it's going to let RJ get to the paint more. And I think that that's one of the more favorable matchups, not going against, a star player. So I'm expecting a good playoff series. However, this season, the RJ we got was not the RJ we re-signed to a, $100 million deal. You don't sign players to a $100 million deal for them to mid it up like this. Like it was a mid-season. So I'm not going to say he was terrible because he did have good games. Offensively, he took a step back, but I don't think it was as big of a step back as people are going to make it out to be. I don't think this is the role for him. I actually don't know what long-term looks like. Like, I don't know how he gets there. But overall, I'm going to give this season a D. I thought about a D+, but I'm going with a D. Let's be clear. If he plays good in the playoffs, it's an A. I don't give a shit. If he goes off in the playoffs on some, Ray Allen, John Starks type run where it's just incredibly hot, and because RJ's one of the streakiest players in Knicks history. Only streakier player I can think of, two, John Starks and J.R. Smith. Honestly, those are the only players that, I think are streakier than RJ. And I think RJ can have that streak. I do. I think that that's going to be the argument going forward is that, when it matters, he stepped up. And I'm rooting for that to happen, but it didn't happen this season. It didn't. And if I'm being honest, I got to say this season was a disappointment. I expected better. He finished last year so good. And then this season, he didn't do the things I wanted him to do. He took 5.5 threes a game. That's too many threes. You are a driver. You're not a spot-up shooter. Like,
You're
stop.
a driver of the basketball.
You're a driver of the basketball. Like, you should be taking threes like Mitch should be taking threes. Like, not Mitch, maybe Taj or so. Like, you're not a shooter. You're he's open. You're in the corner. Send rhythm. That's when you should shoot. You should not come off the screen and be shooting. Like, get that out your game. When you come off the screen, you're looking to drive. And if they're stopping you drive, then you should be looking to pass. And if that doesn't end up with you getting an assist, that's okay. But, he's young. You're young. You can play better. Still only 22, turned 23 in June. And, you have a chance to rewrite your narrative come this playoffs. If this playoff goes bad, if RJ bums it and other people, so if RJ bums it and we lose, it will be RJ's fault. And I hope he knows that. Nothing, unless he's dropping 35 a night. If he puts up 17 and we lose 17 on 17 shots while getting cooked by Isaac Okoro or somebody like that on the other end, trust me, they're going to want to trade you. You are going to be in every rumor. Luka, JoJo, every star looking for a new home. You're going to hear the Knicks offered RJ Barrett in a package of picks because of the season you had. However, you can turn it around. But yeah, this season was a disappointment. I expected a lot more. I think he'll turn it around going forward. There were some bright spots. It wasn't terrible, but overall, he didn't take the step. If anything, he went backwards, and that's not the direction you want to go. So yeah, I'm going D for the season, but he has a chance to improve it.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So I'm also going D for the season. I thought it was a very mid-season for one Rowan Barrett Jr. The leap that many expected him to take, he did not. some would say he fell on his face. From Cheddar Bobbin himself.
Nasty.
To these very, very bad shooting streaks. We expect more from RJ Barrett. But do we? I'm at the point, as I've said before on this podcast, that if RJ Barrett doesn't have a good series, I'm out on RJ Barrett. And it's not his fault for the most part. He's just not. He's a product of other people's success.
He's a product of the all ISO offense.
Yes,
but not being the all ISO guy.
Yes, he is not. He is not the primary option in the all ISO offense. He's not the secondary option in the all ISO offense, and because he is neither the primary or the secondary option,
right?
He is just another cog.
Yes,
in the world that is Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. And when you are that, you have to be like Quentin Grimes and hit threes or play elite defense or do both. And when you don't hit threes and play defense or do both, you frustrate the fan base, especially with Quentin Grimes is doing that and making $10 million a year, and you are getting ready to make $30 million a year.
Yes. He's clearly better than you at your current role.
Yes.
And now players on the bench also better than you at your current role. That's not what you want.
As you said, that is going to just light up the trade rumors. And instead of RJ Barrett, third option on the championship Knicks team, it now becomes Emmanuel Quickly, third option. It becomes Josh Hart, third option. It becomes like you've given leeway into the pecking order, and that's not good, RJ. Like you said, this can all change with a great playoff series. And are you capable? I think the most frustrating part about RJ Barrett is that I know you're capable. I know that you are capable of not being submit.
This is true. We have enough data. We have 4 seasons of data. We've seen you enough to know that if you do certain things, you will be good.
It is your choices.
You have to choose to do those things.
You are making poor choices, King. With that being said, Isaac Okoro should not be an issue. Karis LeVert should not be an issue.
Not an issue.
When you're making $100 million and Karis LeVert is not making $100 million, and Isaac Okoro and Cedi Osman is not making $100 million, that means I need 20 points a game in this series. If you hit your average, we win. I'm letting you know that right now.
Yeah.
Easily. In 4. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
In 4.
Yeah.
So that's all that's to say is RJ Barrett, this is your series, sir. Like your Knicks future depends on this, you having a good series, and that is that's the God honest truth. That's no bias. That's no hate. That's no vitriol. Like that's just the truth. You want to be a star in New York, you better have a good series. This series, this is your clock.
Yes,
for the most part,
the stars have a line for RJ Barrett. Like what he needed to happen happened.
Yes,
and what are you gonna do with this info?
Yeah, this is information that you have. Isaac Okoro is not better than you.
Full stop.
Give him chips. Like, just give him chips. Go to work.
Overthink it.
Clock in and go to work.
Calm. And they have no backup center. Like, you could go to the paint pretty consistently. Just get into the paint. Like, that's all you have to do. You know, we know you're going to run your minutes. You know, they're going to do the stagger thing so that you could be the 5th person with the 4 bench players, and you have a favorable matchup. You do. It's either going to be LeVert guarding you, Lamar Stevens, someone like that, and then you'll get to roll to the basket. You'll get Cedi Osman is not going to stop you. They run Evan Mobley. Like, Evan Mobley is going to have to guard a shooter. Like, he can't just camp as a 4. Like, it's built for you to get in the paint and make it happen. And are you going to do that?
I'm not going to lie to you. This team is, the Cavaliers are built to be beat by a small forward who gives them chips.
Yes.
Like, that's why they have no path to the finals.
Yes.
They have no path.
Especially in the East.
Yeah, it's like where small forwards who give chips are plentiful.
They're all over the place. Even the bad teams got like Mikal Bridges and
small forwards who give chips. You don't need that. You don't need those problems.
This is correct.
So, RJ, you need to establish yourself, and you need to establish yourself in the East. Like I just said, there's small forwards in the East. Everybody's out here like cooking. Mikal Bridges just got to the East and he's averaging 30. Like,
honestly, this is because like this was Tyler Hero's moment. Like, Tyler Hero, everybody thinks he's nice because he was good in the bubble. He had a really good run in the bubble. I give him a good playoff run in the bubble. He was scoring, getting chips. But other than that run, he's been aggressively mid.
And this is also, but even like this, if this was Upstate Heat podcast, I feel like they would, in the Hero Report, they would have to let him know, like, you've been so bad. And you better have a good series or I'm out on you.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah. And RJ, same boat. Yeah, and honestly, less pressure on you. So it's same boat because you have to perform. However, Tyler Hero is going to have tough matchups. He's going to have to go against, Trae Young and point guards that can defend. He's going to have to go against Drew Holiday. It's understandable if you don't have a good series versus Marcus Smart or Drew Holiday. I get that. RJ, you're not going against none of that. You're going against Lamar Stevens and Isaac Okoro.
Quickly.
Cook them.
You can quickly cook them.
Cook them and don't let none of them cook you. Play defense.
All you need.
Be a bum.
Don't be a bum on the court, and that's all we ask. It's a simple request. Clock in, go to work. Isaac Okoro is not a problem.
Yes.
We're not worried about it.
And you shouldn't be either. Just come in and hoop. But, not your best season, RJ, but you can turn it around. Looking forward to seeing you do that. Use this week, get right, and then come Saturday, play with that chip on your shoulder. You know that folks are saying you don't deserve the contract. You got fat pockets and you started playing heavy. You got big. They saying you need to get skinny. All Knicks Twitter is a riot. But
you gotta love Knicks Twitter.
That was a theme on Knicks Twitter. Should RJ lose the weight and go back to skinny RJ? Which is a whole nother thing. But, I think that this is a big opportunity, and I think he knows it. I think he does. I think he feels bad for how he played in the playoffs the first time. He was younger then, and he had a favorable matchup then, and he didn't play great. He didn't bum it. He wasn't the reason we lost. It was another forward of ours. However, I think that, they can't key on you. You are not the focal point of the offense. That's Jalen. And you in that secondary role can thrive. You can be the Chris Middleton. You can be the Jalen Brown. You can be the second option on a elite team that came through. And, I'm looking forward to you doing it. Yeah. Okay. So we are at so it was a good season. So now we're going to get on record. We got to make our official predictions for round one. Should we make all our predictions or just Knicks, like just game one?
Oh, let's make all our predictions.
Okay. So 5.
All right. So we can start with us. We basically broke down the whole series for the most part. You say Knicks in 5.
5.
I say Knicks in 6. Just to give us some elbow room for the most part, because I don't think that Julius will be back until at least game 2. To be honest, because I think game 2 will be like either Monday or Tuesday, and I think they want to give him that extra week. So I think we saw him on Sunday. He didn't have no boot on. That's a good sign. Knowing Julius, he likes to play through pain, and Tibbs is a maniac. So
he likes to let his players play through pain.
I think that he will do that, but I think the smart play is to play game 1, Let him sit game one, and then like once we see the schedule, I think that there will be some decisions made on that. Like if he don't get cleared by Wednesday, like I think that they should give him an extra week and let him come back for game 2. I think so. I think we're going to 6. I got us winning 6 in the Garden in front of the fans in front of Donovan Mitchell's family from Westchester.
What's the over-under on Tom's Donkey?
Man. I got it at least 8. At least 8. I think the line is 8.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
7.5 is going to be the official line. It could go back. It could go up and back and forth due to press conferences because he might clap 8 before we get to Saturday. So
this is true. I will say if it goes past 6 games, I'm taking way over 8. If it goes to a game 7, calm. If it goes to game 6 and they are up 3-2 and they get a chance to win, 100% chance he's gonna say, "Oh man, it mean everything to win in front of my face."
Yes.
At the Garden, I was wanted to play in the Garden when I was young. 100%.
We know it's coming. We know it's coming.
It's definitely coming. But yeah, I got us in 5. I got us winning game 1, losing game 2, and then not losing again. There's gonna be some feeling out games. I think we're gonna sneak the first one. And then, game 2 going to be feeling out. But I think once the feeling out has been done, we beat them. I just think we're a better team than them. And I don't know where they get their scoring, but we will see. You want to do the play-in first?
Yeah, let's start with the play-in.
Okay.
Right, so let's do East play-in. East play-in first game is Atlanta versus Miami for the 7th spot.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie. I hate both these teams.
Yeah, this is the hate on. Honestly, I love that there's nothing but pain for the play-in. I'm rooting against everyone in the
Everybody.
I want them all to lose.
Everybody. So I got James Butler squeaking this out for the simple fact that I just don't trust Trae Young. I never trust Trae Young. He is a playoff player, and I give him that. Like, he plays good in the playoffs, but I just think that he's been figured out, especially in the playoffs. Last year, I think, who they play last year? Did they play Miami last year?
They played Miami,
yeah. Miami got them out of there.
6, 5?
5, I think they punched
5,
them.
yeah. Victor Oladipo was giving chip.
Yeah, when Victor's giving y'all chips, it's over.
It's over. And I feel that way. So yeah, we in agreement there. Miami over Atlanta. The 9 versus 10 game, we got Toronto.
Another mid-off.
Versus Chicago. Calm mid-off.
Oh man, two teams that talked so much shit to us this year.
I know.
In the 9th and 10th spot in poverty. Scotty Barnes, you was not him in 9th spot. So tough. With the 4 power forward lineup.
Yes.
So I don't want Toronto to win this game. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a pure hate pick. I'm picking Chicago to win this game.
That's fair.
Pure hate. I don't want Toronto to win this game. 1, because they're in our division. 2, because I don't really like Scotty Barnes like that anymore. 3, because I just don't want them to win it all. Like, I wish them much unsuccess always.
I wish great unsuccess on these.
Or they jacked our swag with the 4 power forward lineup.
This is true.
5, they traded none of those power forwards at the trade deadline. They thought that they was gonna win. So pain for them. I'm choosing Chicago.
They wanted 3 firsts for OG Anunoby.
Nuts.
And because they did that, now
we have Josh Hart.
They're in the play-in mid, and we're in the 5th seed. And that's what y'all get for idiocracy. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm taking Toronto. So this is a toss-up. I can see Chicago winning this. I really don't care. Whoever wins this game is getting punched out.
Yes.
And I don't even know if they make the playoffs, because whoever wins this game will have to play Atlanta. And honestly, if it's Atlanta versus Toronto, another toss-up. I would go with Atlanta just because the game would be in Atlanta, and that's really how close I think these teams are. Atlanta is the most mid team in the league, 41-41. They 8-8 in their division, 26-26 in the conference.
Aggressively.
The only place they aren't mid is at home with a 24-17, which is not incredible, but it's significantly better than 14-27 on the road. And or 17-24, my fault. But I think that they would win at home. Yeah, it's mid. It's not great. You're some mid, and I think they're gonna win in the play-in, and then I got them in 4. I got Miami in 4 too. Yeah. We're being honest. But do we want to do the West play-in?
Yes.
I could go quick through these too.
So we got 7 and 8, the Lakers versus the Timberwolves. So Rudy smokes Gobert.
I don't know why he's a thug now. I don't know what happened.
Rudy, I'm not gonna lie to you. In all seriousness, bullying is wrong. Bullying is wrong, right? In all seriousness, bullying is wrong.
Yeah, we do not condone bullying.
We do not condone bullying. What Kyle Anderson does to Rudy Gobert, that man has been bullying that man, Rudy Gobert, bro. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's nasty.
Right with you.
Yo, that man called that man a bitch, bro. And he was like, nah, I've had enough, and got himself suspended for the playing game. That's nasty. Not to say I don't think Rudy Gobert being suspended for the playing game changes anything that I thought was going to happen. I got the Lakers because Anthony Davis is better than Cat and Rudy Gobert.
All of them.
And LeBron is the all-time leading scorer, and the NBA needs LeBron in the playoffs. Yes. They're not having another playoffs without LeBron James in it. So
also true. They've seen that.
Yes.
But yes, I am also with you. I'm taking LA. I just think LA is better than Minnesota. For the 9-10 game, I got the Pelicans over the Thunder. Even without Fat Boy, without Zion, I think they're just the better basketball team than OKC. I love SGA. I think that SGA will be the best player on the court, even with Ingram there. But I just think that 2 through 6 is all New Orleans. CJ is better, Ingram is better. I just think that they just have more talent than Oklahoma City does at this moment, and I think that gets them to the next game.
Yes, so I also have the Celicans because they are some salesmen. What?
Yes.
The Celicans, they are the losers of the Fights a Lot game, which is nuts to me because I don't see how it's 7-on-3, 7-on-5, and y'all lose the game. But I do have them over just because they are a better basketball team than the Thunder. I think the Thunder are going to be really good next year with Chet Ubetcha and Shea being him for another year. Josh Giddey, I feel like, is a good basketball player, but they're probably going to need to get a wing in there that's going to really take their game to the next level because I think that they're going to be formidable, especially if Shea. They're going to have to give Shea another bag because he's going to be an all-NBA player and he's going to want another extension. And I think they should do that immediately because if they don't, he's coming.
We will
the starting shooting guard for the New York Knicks.
We will
because Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is him.
Yes.
But he's the only player that I truly trust on that team, so I'm choosing him. I'm choosing the Pelicans over them. In the next game, I got the Timberwolves. I got the Timberwolves over the Pelicans. I just got the Timberwolves over the Pelicans because the Pelicans are the Celicans, and I can't trust them. CJ, I think CJ might be on his way to being a little cooked. I think that they might need to get under that away from that contract. I think BI, you keep BI because if you don't keep BI, once again, I will take Brandon Ingram as my starting small forward.
Another player will take off your hands.
Yes. And I think you can't trade Zion because Zion's too injury prone. But when Zion is healthy, Zion Williamson is
Very good at basketball.
Very good at basketball. At the sport of basketball, they literally were the number 1 seed when he got injured, and now they are a playing team. That is value, and that's all you need to know about the New Orleans Pelicans. Sorry. I think their season ends there. I think the only way they really beat the Timberwolves is if the Timberwolves smoke themselves like they did, and then they actually take advantage of it. But otherwise, then I have the Timberwolves being the number 8 seed to play Denver.
I'm different from you here. Here I do have the Pelicans winning this game. I got them winning 2 and getting in. In the way you feel about New Orleans, that's how I feel about Minnesota. I like Ant. I don't like anyone else on that team. And I love B.I. I think B.I. is the goods. And I think CJ is becoming cooked, but I think he's better than everyone else on Minnesota. The only person on Minnesota I believe in is Anthony Edwards. I don't believe in Karl Anthony Towns. I think he's a liability. In fact, I would not want him on my team. However, we'll see. This is a wipe-ish, but honestly, this is kind of a good segue into we can do the West. So we can start 8-1. So it'll either be the Timberwolves or the Pelicans. If Zion plays, he's supposed to not. But if by some miracle he plays, I have New Orleans in 6. If he doesn't, I have Denver in 5. And any Minnesota scenario, I have Denver in 5. I don't believe in Minnesota at all, like I just said. But yeah, that's my 1-8 prediction.
All right, my 1-8 prediction, I have Denver in 4 because I do not believe at all in Rudy Gobert ever. I think he is a 3-time defensive player of the year, but every time I see him play either Jokic or JoJo Embiid, they give him absolute chips. I feel like that would be okay if they didn't also play your position, and if you're defensive player of the year 3 times in a row. Like when like Giannis Antetokounmpo was a defensive player of the year. You know what I remember from Giannis's defensive player of the year campaign? No one getting chips on him. Him absolutely locking up the power forward or small forward matchup on the court. If you scored 30 points, it was the hardest 30 you had of the season.
Yes.
So I have no faith in Rudy Gobert. I also have absolutely no faith in Karl Anthony Towns.
Yep.
I've said this plenty of occasions. I'm super good on Cat. There's a Knicks contingency. I think Cat will become available eventually, and that we should get Cat because he's from New Jersey.
Pass.
I don't want no New Jersey players on my basketball team, honestly and truly. New Jersey, the basketball team had a New Jersey player on their basketball team, and you see how that worked out for them.
Not good.
Not well at all.
Easy enough.
Yeah, I'm good on that. So 2-7, Memphis and the Lakers.
Yep.
I got LeBron. I'm sorry.
I got LeBron. I ain't gonna hold you. I got LeBron at 6 too.
I got LeBron at 5.
5. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So here's the thing, right? Memphis is actually like a good basketball team. Mm-hmm. Like they are constructed well. Like Jaren Jackson Jr., he's gonna be defensive player of the year. Mm-hmm. Ja is good at sport. He dunks on people. Plays good sport. Desmond Bane, as I told y'all, big Desmond Bane fan. That brother can shoot the basketball. Dylan Brooke is the master troll. He's just going to try to get into everybody's head.
Yep.
I don't believe in this matchup for the simple fact that Anthony Davis is better than Jaren Jackson Jr. 1. And I just don't believe that anybody on the basketball court is guarding
LeBron James. Yeah.
Like I think it is going to play out eerily similar to how Golden State played Memphis and how Memphis was clearly the better basketball team. Clearly the better that Memphis was better than Golden State as a basketball team, but Golden State just out-veteraned them and they were just smarter than them and they beat them. They literally beat them by making them punch themselves in the face. And that happened for 6 games. I think that LeBron is of that same ilk. I think that LeBron has done this before to Paul George. He made Paul George punch himself in the face when Paul George had good Indiana teams. He literally had the entire country of Canada in shambles with the LeBronto era. I think that I don't think that this is of 2 years ago when he played Phoenix and Devin Booker was being Devin Booker and being good at sport, and he had Chris Paul to beat him. I think that Memphis is primed to fold. I think they are the most foldable team in the playoffs, and I think that if they fold, it's going to be a lot of vitriol and pain, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, they deserve it. With the Crip. I wish nothing but ill will on this man. But yes, I also have the Lakers in 6. Better basketball team. I don't believe in Memphis. They play really good defense. They play really good at home. I give them their flowers there. However, in the playoffs, when the game slows down and you need a bucket, I don't trust Ja Morant as much as I trust LeBron James.
Guarding Bron. I just don't see anybody guarding Bron.
Yeah.
Literally.
It is that simple.
I think that you're giving LeBron James 3 days rest each game. I think that is going to be significant for a 38-year-old who plays better, who has the highest basketball IQ maybe in NBA history.
Legit.
Like, I think that you have a motivated LeBron. I think he dispatches them in 5, honestly, and I think it looks bad.
Easy enough. So next up, we got Golden State 6 versus Sacramento.
Pray for the Kings.
Yeah.
Pray for the Kings.
So honestly, I'll put the same disclaimer. So Lakers, I got them winning, obviously, if Anthony Davis stays healthy. Same with Golden State. If Golden State is healthy, this is a short series. I like Sacramento. It's a good story. Golden State about to get 6 home games. 5 home games. Like, it could be 4 home games, if I'm being honest. I don't think Golden State is going to struggle at all. I think this is going to be a fun series. I
literally think they've saved all this for this moment. Like, I think they've saved all the whole season. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I have legitimate, I don't want to say fear of Golden State, but I understand the Golden State mantra. They be coasting the regular season. They have no use for it. Like, they have no use for it. They literally just needed to get into the playoffs. Yes. They did it last year.
And they
needed to get into the playoffs. Just get me there with a healthy Steph Curry. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter in the history of the sport of basketball. Klay Thompson, the second greatest shooter in the history of basketball. And you got Draymond Green point forward, doing everything, really smart, giving you 10 assists and giving you triple doubles in the playoffs.
Yep.
All they needed to do is get to the playoffs. And they're not really scared. They're not really scared of nobody.
Yeah.
They're not really scared of nobody.
Yeah.
So legit. I think that they dispatched the Kings. They broke the longest playoff drought. Salute to them. I think that they have a good team. I just think that this is a terrible matchup for them. I think that if this was another matchup besides this team and maybe the Lakers, I probably would have taken them. Like, I probably would have taken them against the Clippers just because Paul George is not there and Kawhi is probably not going to be super motivated like he is against the team he is going to be playing. But I think that in general, I think that's a short series, and they dispatched them early. Salute De'Aaron, salute Sabonis, good season, but Cancun early for y'all.
Easy enough. So that's honestly a good segue. Kawhi. So this is the series that I'm looking forward to. I think this is like the series. So obviously our series, but this series, I actually do want to watch this series. A lot of storylines. So next series is Clippers versus Suns. A lot of storylines, a lot of people with a lot to play for. I think this is the closest Russ is going to get. And honestly, he has a ways to go, but like, there's a legit finals path. They can beat Phoenix. They can definitely beat Denver. Golden State is tough for anybody. But like, if you're Russ, if you're maybe not Kawhi still got a lot left. But the Clippers have a legit shot this year. And I think they have to feel that. And everyone on the Suns most of them lost in that finals 2 years ago. And Chris Paul has to know this is, his clock is ticking. Devin Booker has to know that he's not going to get to play with a teammate as good as Kevin Durant right now. Kevin Durant should know he's not going to get like this kind of a cohort going forward. Like, he's 33. It's very few teams are trying to build around 34-year-olds. And you are, you are close. So I'm looking forward to the storylines in this series. I'm going Clippers in 7 out of pure hate. I can't root for Kevin Durant this year. I just can't do it. I can't even, look at the game from a basketball standpoint because I am blinded by the hate. So I'm going Clippers in 7. I got to go in chalk up until game 7. No, I give you that. So 2-0, 2-2, 3-2, 3.
So I'm also going Clippers in 7. This is a bit. I know it's tough. Chris Paul, that's my guy. Strictly from a basketball standpoint, I think that Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, like they haven't lost yet as a group when they play everybody, and I think that starts to change because they've played a whole bunch of bum teams, and I think that Kawhi Leonard has literally saved his legs for this moment. Like, Kawhi Leonard has not played defense this year. Like, I haven't watched a lot of Clippers games, but the Clippers games that I have watched, Kawhi Leonard is not playing defense. And I think that is on purpose. I think Kawhi Leonard recognizes that, I got defense for the playoffs and the playoffs only. Because even at the end of the season, he started picking it up. And I think he's going to take the challenge of, I got to get KD. I got to get him. We both got 2 chips. I got my chips in 2 different places. And they saying that in this era, it's LeBron, KD, Steph. And if I'm Kawhi, I got to take KD out of there. Because
gotta get him one time.
Yeah, because if he take KD out, what is KD saying? He couldn't be Kawhi.
Yeah.
He couldn't be Kawhi without a super team. He couldn't be LeBron without a super team.
Yeah.
Like, there are narratives here all over the place. I think Kawhi steps up to the challenge. Yes. I think he doesn't like acknowledge it, but we've seen like Kawhi runs. He's like due for one too. Like, he's due for a good run. Like, this happens like once every 4 years, like a leap year. Like, last time he did it, we was in your crib, remember? Like, for your graduation.
He shot the Sixers
JoJo
dynasty
to the ground.
He made Ben Simmons into a bum. Ben Simmons has not been the same since that shot.
Had JoJo crying.
Legit.
In tears. So I think Kawhi is due a good run. I think he was really going to get that run in when they went to the Western Conference Finals, but he tore his ACL before they got there, and Paul George almost willed them past Devin Booker. But I think Kawhi's due for a run. Paul George might not be back for the first 2 games. I think he comes back within the series, though. He gets back in game 4. I think that by then the Suns are up 2-1, but then Paul George comes back and kind of mitigates some of that offensive firepower. I think DeAndre Ayton sells this series because I've seen him sell.
This is not a rare occurrence.
Way too often.
Yes.
He's going, and I think that if they win is because he dominates Zubac, and I think Zubac is not having that. Respectfully, because you're not getting no shots, you're not going to be motivated. And this is what I do. I don't get shots. This is what I do. I'm outside every day, not getting shots, playing offense and getting 10 points of offensive rebounds. This is something you're not used to. This is something you've been playing for 6 weeks, not even 6 weeks. KD bust his ass and had to sit 3 weeks from the layup line. So it was over for that. I don't think they got enough chemistry, the Suns. I don't think they got enough to beat Kawhi. And I think Ty Lue is going to outcoach Monty Williams because Ty Lue will throw 8 lineups out there. Every game, he hit him with a different lineup.
Yeah, throw them all. But they got a lot of bodies to throw at KD. And until we see it work in pressure, folks have lots of reasons to be skeptical.
Yep.
And the Clippers, they haven't won finals like they said they would, but they've won playoff series. They beat Dallas. They've played good basketball together, and we haven't seen Phoenix do it with this lineup. So till I see it, I'm going to be skeptical. But yeah, so it looks like in the West, I have Denver, LA, Golden State, and then LA making it to the next round. Who do you have? Just to give them a good soundbite.
Denver, LA, Golden State.
Okay.
Clippers. We are both
we chalk. Okay, cool. Okay, next up, we are gonna go in the East. So I'll do 8-1 here. I don't care. Atlanta or Toronto, whoever. I got 4. I got 4 here. This time I'm actually predicting the sweep. So I think Giannis is going. So the Bucks. So the Knicks are my real finals pick. Let's be clear. Duh. Obviously, I got the Knicks winning it all. Clearly. However, my other pick, if I'm not picking the Knicks, is Milwaukee. I think they play with a chip on their shoulder. I think that they feel they could have beaten Boston last year if they were full strength. Honestly, I feel like they were close enough, not full strength. Like they didn't even have Chris Middleton, and they still got it to 7. And they competed in Game 7. They didn't get punched in Game 7 at all.
Man, everybody got it to 7. Honestly, Miami was a Jimmy Buckets brick away from
this is true. This is true. But
some would say Boston got incredibly fortunate last year. Some would say.
I think if Cash Money played last year, I don't know if Boston makes the finals. So we'll see how Milwaukee is health-wise when that big series comes up. However, health will not matter in round 1.
Yeah, they're cooking.
They are cooking Toronto. They are cooking Atlanta 4. 4 blowouts, too.
Yes.
I don't think the games are watchable.
We'll have 12 Giannis quarters of basketball.
Yes.
12 Giannis quarters of basketball. He'll be sitting the 4th of every blowout.
Because he's going to be punching them out. But yeah, that's pretty. I don't know. Do you want to talk the basketball of it? I really don't.
No,
we can move on.
I have nothing. They have one team has Giannis, one team does not have Giannis.
It's that simple. So next we got Miami and Boston. So this was the conference finals last year, right?
It was.
This was the conference finals. So 1 year removed. Different teams. So Boston got a little better. They added Brogdon, 6th Man of the Year candidate.
Miami got a lot worse.
Injuries did plague them this year. They rarely had the full stable. And when they had the full stable, they weren't terrible.
Yes.
I have Boston winning this in 6. I actually do think Miami's going to steal a game or 2 just because James Butler. I think he's going to figure out how to get 2 of these games. So, yeah, I'm going Boston in 6 in Miami.
So the streets know, although I don't like the Miami Heat, James Butler is my guy.
Guru's guy.
He truly is. I really
also Tom Thibodeau's guy.
Yes. I understand. I hate Tom Thibodeau so much because we have the same taste. But James Butler is my guy.
Yes.
Truly. I think this goes 7.
Oof.
And it's a toss-up in 7. I'm gonna give it to Boston just off the strength that they have Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is better at basketball than everybody else that'll be on the basketball court. They also have Jalen Brown. There's an argument to be made. He's the second best player out of all the basketball players, at worst 3rd.
Yeah.
But I think Jimmy gets 3. I think Jimmy gets 3 because he's a playoff basketball player. He goes to conference finals. That's what he does. He goes to finals. And I think he gets 3. I think he unfortunately loses. Udonis Haslem career ends with the first round.
Tough.
First round loss, but I think that he gets 3. I'm going to give Jimmy Butler the respect enough to know that he could get 3.
Uh-huh.
He could get 3.
Easy enough. So yeah, next, and this is the last series we're gonna cover. We got the Brooklyn Nets versus the Philadelphia 76ers.
New Jersey.
The New Jersey Nets. So I got 6s and 5s. I got 6s and 5, and the reason is Joel Embiid.
Yes.
So Brooklyn is just not a good matchup. So one, I think Philly is a better team. Let's be clear. I just think they're better at the sport of basketball. But Brooklyn, their strength is the ability to guard wings, and Philly does not have strong wing play.
They don't.
They have strong big play. They have strong guard play. And it's a strength on strength situation or strength on weakness. And I'm not even going to hold you. I think JoJo averages 40. I think he's going to average 40 over these 5 games. The only thing that's going to stop him
on Nicky Claxton.
On Nicky Claxton. I think he's going to give him unlimited chips. And I'm here for it. I don't like New Jersey. I'm wishing of nothing but ill will for them. But that off ball, that ain't gonna cut it versus Joel Embiid. you gotta guard me. And Philly, like New York, plays the all ISO offense.
Yes.
The all ISO offense with Joel Embiid is much more efficient. Dangerous.
It's much more efficient. It's just a more efficient offense. It's honestly playing a passing offense is detrimental to your team when you have a talent.
When you have
like Joel Embiid,
give him the ball.
Why are you not giving him the ball? He clearly can score whatever he wants.
Whenever he wants. All they can do is foul.
Yes.
That's it. But hope he makes a mistake. And I don't think that happens. I think he's going to be crisp. I think he plays with a chip on his shoulder this season. I think he's a player to watch this offseason. I think they're a team to watch. I think they can make a deep run into the playoffs because I think that there's a lot of pressure on him. I think there's even more pressure on James Harden. I don't know how many runs James Harden has left in him, but him in the same way like Chris Paul and Russ, they have to feel like this is the closest they're going to get. They're getting up there in age, and I think James Harden can make something happen versus Brooklyn. Getting into the next rounds, I think that'll be a little tougher. But for this series right here, I don't think it's going to be close. I got New Jersey going back across the river in 5.
So I'm not going to lie to you. I have Philly in 6. So I'm going to tell you why I have Philly in 6. Philly in 6 simply because I believe James Harden will sell at least one game. I think he will sell at least one game. At least one game. And I'm taking the over on 1. I got the line at 1.5. I'm not even going to lie to you. I think he will sell at least one game. I really think he will sell 2 games and that Tyrese Maxey will save them 1 game. I think that Brooklyn's offense will be enough to get them the second game.
Okay.
And I think that JoJo will also average 40 points a game this series, but I think he will be mad. And I think the only reason why I wouldn't take them as a sweep is because James Harden is their point guard and it's the playoffs. Yeah. And that's just the God honest truth. James Harden is their point guard and it's the playoffs. I've seen James Harden has given me too much data. I have an overflux of data on James Harden selling in the playoffs for me to be like, all right, let's trust James Harden when it comes to any playoff activity. Nope. I've seen him lose the same game twice. It's disgusting.
It can't happen.
Yeah. So sayonara to New Jersey. I wish you much unsuccess. I hope that you guys. I really hope James Harden doesn't sell and you guys get swept because you guys are a poverty franchise that gentrified the neighborhood.
Y'all ruined it for God-fearing New Yorkers enjoying our basketball.
Raise the taxes, raise the property value to everything in the neighborhood
for no reason.
And tried to force out the black community. So I have no love
lost
for the New Jersey Nets. They could have stayed in New Jersey at the Prudential Center, but no, they had to try to come to New York. It's nasty work.
Nasty work. So to recap, I got Milwaukee. I think I got all the top seeds except 5-4. So I got Knicks, obviously.
Yes.
But then I got Philly, Boston, and Milwaukee. And some of these series I don't have being competitive. I think it's going to take a lot. It's going to take an incredible effort from Atlanta or Toronto or Chicago versus Milwaukee, in my opinion. And I think that the East is going to go as planned until about round 2. And as planned means the Knicks are gonna fucking win.
To be clear, my conference finals is Knicks Celtics.
Oh yeah, definitely Knicks Celtics.
And then when it's Knicks Celtics, Dustin and Zach, you're coming back on to get
you're gonna need y'all 7 games of slander.
The 7 games of slander that you're gonna have to go through.
Yeah, well, actually 6 games of slander because we punching y'all in 6. Y'all ain't making it. I want to. Oh yeah, this is true. I want to be on record for this too. So my official pick is Knicks over Warriors in 7. Oh no, who has the better record? How do they choose? Because we would have home court, right? Because we have the better record than Golden State.
I think so.
Yeah, so I would have us in 7 or 6, depending on who has home court. Whatever game is in the Garden, we win in that one.
That's the culture.
If it's game 7. Honestly, if game 5, if we're up 3-1 by some miracle and game 5 is in the Garden, whenever we have a chance to win the title at the Garden, I think Jalen Brunson's dropping 50 that night, and I think we're winning.
Yes.
And nothing else will matter. However, I'm picking us.
My pick is Knicks over Clippers in 5.
I love it.
In 5. I think we dispatching the Clippers early. I think I'm joking, but when you see the banner, don't at me. That's all I'm saying.
Don't at me. Only one team can stop us is Milwaukee. And I think
if we beat them,
it's over. It's over. It's over. It's chips. If we beat them, start thinking of what you're going to be doing after we win the title. Are you going to the parade? Are you buying a new jersey? What are you doing to celebrate your title? Because it's coming. Me personally, I will be buying an RJ Barrett jersey, and I will find Memphis Grizzlies Twitter. I will find New Orleans Pelicans Twitter, and I will find Miami Heat Twitter, and I'm going to let them know that RJ was the best pick from that draft class because he's the only one with the ring. Just know that's coming if we beat Milwaukee in round 2. But we had to get on record for those predictions, so y'all can definitely tune back into this episode a month and a half from now when we're right. This Knicks chip. But overall, I think the playoffs are going to be excited. I'm actually looking forward to the playoffs this year. We don't have any Golden State is still a dynasty. They still here, but like there's no like looming team. It doesn't feel like the KD Golden State here. There's no LeBron team in the East. Lots of parity. And I like that. And I think that gives us a legit chance. And I think we take advantage of it. So, we'll see. Knicks in 6. That's the
Knicks in 6.
That's the vibes.
All right. I think that's it.
No Knicks for clicks this week? I'm okay.
Do you have
let me see.
We could just I do have Knicks for clicks. I can't remember where it's at, but it's strictly around the idea that the 6th man of the year race should be decided by how many games Emmanuel quickly started in the regular season.
That's the only factor that matters.
And not the fact that he scored 40 points and 9 assists on 1 turnover.
Nobody needs to hear that. Nobody needs to hear that at all. Hold up, let me see if I can find because we've been getting bangers. So like somebody wanted to trade. What was it? I just saw it on my timeline. Oh, so this was my Knicks for clicks. I did have one. So at Mulholland Lover, but the O's are zeros. But he says Cavs fan, so I'm guessing he's a Cavs fan. Yeah, he is a Cavs fan because the hashtag is let him know with the Cavs logo. What kind of hashtag? Whatever. But he says Cavs fans, we just have to be prepared for this mentality. understanding that this is what we're walking into in Madison Square. Hashtag let them know. And the picture is of two refs, and they have Knicks logos on them as if they're Knicks fans, as if they're going to cheat for the Knicks. Because that has totally happened all the time in NBA history. That is a regular occurrence when the Knicks get uncommon luck in situations.
From the referees.
So only outdone by this next tweet by Yogi Yedis, who says, not a Cavs fan, but this is facts. The NBA wants the Knicks to be good so bad. Even dumber take. And honestly, I'm glad that he said it. This is my guy, Rude Boy, at Rude Boy NYK, Bobby B. He posted the 2019 draft results when the Knicks fell 2 slots. We were supposed to get the number 1 seed. And then New Orleans and Memphis both jumped 6 spots ahead of us to ensure we don't get the number 1 seed, because the NBA had to rig it so that we get the best player, RJ Barrett, apparently. Yep. That's the theory. So y'all got to stop saying anything. But yeah, this was a good Knicks for clicks week. You guys were on fire. Lots of update tweets. Love it.
And I'm pretty sure they will be on fire next week, because we will be 1 game into the playoffs. We'll have a clear depiction on what we are looking like going into our 5-game win. And I'm excited, man. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't felt this confident about a Knicks team since, honestly, the 54-win team.
Yeah.
And I thought we were going to beat the Heat that year.
Yes.
I thought we were going to be.
I still, to this day, matchups. We got caught by matchups.
We beat them 3-1 all year. We won 3 games. We won 3 of the games.
Got caught by matchup. Just Indiana matched up really well with us. If we could have ducked them, I think we'd have surprised some people. But the world will never know. Super nasty work. Thank y'all for tuning in to this. Honestly, thank y'all for tuning into the whole season. But specifically, thank y'all for tuning into this episode of the Upstate New York Knicks podcast. We've been enjoying the vibes with y'all all season. We're going to keep it rocking through the playoffs. Same schedule. We're not going to change up anything. So sometimes we're going to talk about just one game. Sometimes we're going to talk about, however many games is coming up that week. But, whatever it is, we're going to be here as long as the Knicks still playing ball. Shout out to our production, Smooth Family ENT, at Smooth Family ENT on Twitter. Follow us everywhere, like, subscribe, all of that. However you're listening to this medium, be sure to show the support. We appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram at Upstate_Knicks. It's been a good season. You guys have been very supportive. Looking forward to working with you all going forward. We've moved our platform, so we doing digital now. So we might, we have more capacity to bring in guests and things like that. So we might play around with that going forward. We'll let you all know. But other than that, stay tuned in and enjoy this. Enjoy this. The Knicks are in the playoffs. We are heading up. We're on the upswing. If you're still a Knicks fan, you've been through it. You deserve this. Whoever you are out there, if you're still a Knicks fan, after Jeff Hornacek, after David Fizdale, after Isaiah Thomas, if you made it this far as a Knicks fan, you need to enjoy this, because we're in the playoffs and we're going to win it all. You heard it here first. But no, thank y'all for tuning in. This was another episode of the Upstate New York Knicks podcast. Remember, you can take us out the city, but the garden is in my heart forever.
And ever and ever.
Thank y'all.
Y'all be easy.
Yes, sir.